It's okay, test and learn.
Okay, can you see on top? Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. I see. I open another screen. It's downloading there.
Good. Got it.
The meeting is live stream. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, test and learn.
Okay, can you see on top? Meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. I open another screen. It's downloading there.
So we are live now.
Meeting is live stream. Okay. Okay. Testing. Is there any way we know how many participants are here?
Not really. It's live ready. It's start ready. Okay.
Yep.
Hi everyone. Good afternoon and happy National Day. Okay, so we are so happy to be here on this special day, which is our National Day, as well as we also want to help more students who are in this PSLE this year and parents on this topic about strategies to achieve achievement level 1 for our students. So we're so privileged to have Mr. Yu, okay, who is the founder of One Academy, and he's also a former PSLE Science marker who has tons of experience in this area. And he's also the author of Science Open-Ended Questions Guidebook. Okay, so I will be sharing other things during this webinar. And I'm Jaslyn here. I'm Singapore's first tactical parenting strategies. Okay, hi, Mr. Yu. Okay, let me start right now. Okay, so I'm Jaslyn. I'm Singapore's first tactical parenting strategies. I'm also a study coach. Okay, and I have content on my YouTube on studying strategies, motivation, and I've also on Facebook. So if you want more of this content, okay, I would recommend you to go to my Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so other than I'm a parenting strategist, I'm also a study coach, and I'm also an international speaker, and also I'm an online course creator. Okay, and as a parent, I feel you as a parent because I was once a professional chartered accountant, juggling work and family. And I know that Singapore, there's a lot of things that parents have to worry about. And the biggest thing is about studies. So that's why I want to help parents out here who have struggles with their children in their studies. Okay, so for myself, I have 2 high achiever children, and they are all doing well in the integrated program schools. And I have a story that spans about 17 years of experience raising kids. And this is my framework, to how to help parents as well as the children to know how they can achieve the grades that they deserve. And for my story, my son is actually now in Hwa Chong Institution, but his story was not the usual story, which you see like when he's young, he loves to study. He's just the opposite, okay? So he struggles with his own behavior issues in school, as well as he couldn't focus, he does shoddy work, and he does not even like to revise at home. So for me, I have to find a lot of different ways, either using flashcards, mind maps, but sometimes I also have to go to the teachers as well as the principals to actually learn how to help him with his behavior as well as his issues about his school. Okay, so I have achieved a lot of different methods. Okay, and finally in 2019, when he was having his PSLE, he was able to be one of the top PSLE pupil, and his results is having 3 A star and 1 A. Okay, so and I struggled. Okay, I struggled as a parent helping him with science. Okay, that's why I'm so happy that I met Mr. Yu this year. And then importantly that he's going to share with a lot of y'all here who are struggling about science. All right. And importantly, we want to be happy parents, okay? And we want to help our children to be more confident and self-directed learners. And importantly, we need to optimize the learning, okay, whether they're in school or in tuition. So I advocate children to love learning and self-motivating and forming good study habits. So stay till the end of our live because there will be tickets to my upcoming webinar, 3M System to Ace the Exams. And I have a free trial for Jaslyn's masterclass for the first 3 parents today that's worth $70. And it's for primary 2 to primary 6. And Mr. Yu is going to have a power class soon, and there's limited seats. So for parents in this live, you will have the privilege to have the seats to his power class. Right. So today's topic, for those who just joined us, this is the topic on strategies to achieve AL1 for PSLE Science, right? So importantly, as a strategist, I always look at what is the science format, right? So in PSLE Science here, we have two sections. One is booklet A and booklet B. So booklet A, we have multiple choice questions. There are altogether 28 of them, and each one carries 2 marks. So it's about 56% of the whole paper. And booklet B is open-ended questions. So if you are a student that do very well for multiple choice, but end up doing very badly for open-ended questions, you are not likely going to score the AL1 that you deserve. So it's about 12 to 13 of the questions, and every question is about 2 to 5 marks. So the total percentage is 44% of the whole paper. So importantly, the duration of paper is 1 hour 45 minutes. All right. So this is the format and the duration for the exam. So let's start over here. And hello, Mr. Yu. Thank you for joining us today to share with us all the tips that you can give for our students who are having PSLE this year. Okay, Mr. Yu, can you, can you also share with us, other than that, I know that you are an ex-PSLE science marker. Okay, what other special things that have not known, you can share with us?
Okay. First of all, happy National Day to parents who are out there. So I'm very thankful today is being invited by Miss Jocelyn Locke to do this live YouTube. Actually, it's my first time doing a live YouTube. So I'm still learning from her the different skills in doing this. So let me do a screen share and I will start my PowerPoint slideshow from the beginning. Okay, firstly, I'm very thankful that I have very good mentors in my life. I was actually a teacher in Pei Hwa Presbyterian. So during my 6 years there, I had the chance to mark the PSLE Science paper, Section B, for 3 years. Because actually, the PSLE Science paper, Section B, is one of the most difficult PSLE paper to mark.
I see.
Because there are many answers given by students, and also sometimes we hesitate whether to give this answer right or wrong. So they consult the more seniors marker. So that has given me a lot of experience in marking PSLE exam paper. And also with this experience, I can help students to zoom in on the right keywords, the right phrases, so that their answers will be accepted and be awarded the full marks. So other than that, I also had the opportunity to teach overseas. This is my graduation cert from NTU. As you can see here, I actually was a trained PE teacher. And I'm very thankful that actually, as you know, now is the Tokyo Olympics, right?
Yes.
I think in Singapore it's very rare that somebody has been trained by an Olympian. So I'm actually one of them. If you remember our former athlete, Mr. C. Kunalan, he was actually one of my coach when I was doing the NIE training. I still keep in touch with him. In fact, he's a very inspiring person, very humble. He represented, actually the first time he went for Olympic game was in when he was a Malaysian. So he represented Malaysia first time in Tokyo Olympics. Then 4 years later, he represents Singapore in the Mexico Olympic Games.
So you're so privileged as well. So
yeah. So I have also an opportunity to teach in the Shanghai International School. I was there for 2 years as the head of science. And that year is actually quite challenging. As you can see here, I'm one of the youngest HOD there, stood there. And when I was there, the principal actually tasked me to take care of the whole science department, because previously there was no HOD before. Because the organization is quite new, about 9 years. So when I went in at the 10th year, it was the first year they have a science HOD. So I got to start the department from scratch, got to buy the equipments for the science lab, and also to build the school aquarium, and also design science program to inspire these international students. So that's my experience. And then when I came back, after I left MOE and left the international school, I started my own tuition. So this photo actually taken in 2013. It's my first time organizing this sort of like 2 or 3 days science intensive course to train the students. Yeah,
Great.
and I find such training is actually quite good because especially students who are staying quite far away, they can't come every week. So like this program today where Ms. Jocelyn Locke invited me to share, I hope that can give parents some insight about the effectiveness of this intensive training. So these were my past students. As you can see, this girl here, she's already Sec 3 when she was 2015. And then this guy was in JC1. They wrote this testimony for me when I asked them for some sharing what they have gained.
Yes.
And also, these two girls, actually, they represented Singapore in the SEA Games.
Wow.
Yeah. And she was actually one of the youngest Spencer that won a bronze medal in the SG50 SEA Games. Yeah. So I taught both of these girls. So, I mean, for science is something, we need to think ahead. It's not just for passing exam. Because eventually these students, they will be leaders for our nation. Just like Singapore celebrate today SG50, right? So if Singapore want to continue to progress to be the leading technology, science, right? The current P6 student, if you just count maybe like in 12 years' time, they will be in the frontier of our nation's science and technology development. So there's something that motivated me to give them a solid foundation in primary 6. Because beyond P6, even in my own life experience, I think it's quite like you go on to the autopilot mode. Yeah, the teacher cannot like always spoon feed you. You got to do your own self-discovery. So P6 is a critical year, yeah.
Yes, that's right. So Mr. Yu, thank you so much. And you have so much of international experience, HOD Science World Class International School, and you have so much experience that you can give. And remember, you have this very interesting mission, right? You have shared with me before. So you want to share with me the mission? Yeah.
Okay, as you can see, because Singapore, as you know, today we celebrate SG56, right? Singapore need independence for 56 years. But before that, before independence, we are still like a country. But if you look at the history of science, so far, I don't think we have produced any Nobel Prize laureate. You know, those who win Nobel Prize. So one of my wish is to inspire and maybe to train the first future Nobel laureate for Singapore.
Wow. Okay, great. So it's so inspiring, to know this because yes, because we are all into this like PSLE mode right now. So we thought, this is just science right now, but actually it goes beyond, right?
Yes, it goes definitely beyond, yeah.
That's great. Okay, so maybe you could share with us some strategies now for our PSLE student this year. Yeah.
Okay, maybe before that, I will just share with some parents about how this wish like to develop our scientists can be materialized.
Okay.
So you can see, actually, I'm sure that we are more aware of drones nowadays, right?
That's right.
Yeah, they can perform various functions. And as we transit into a more innovative economy, we need to build capabilities. So this was being spoken by our former deputy PM at this Institute of Engineering Singapore about 5 years ago. So I have developed this 5M in my training methodology to help parents and also my students be equipped so that they can learn science well, appreciate science. And once they learn and they appreciate, right, it's very natural performance will show. Yeah. Just like you learn Kung Fu, right? You learn Kung Fu under a master, then you go and demonstrate your Kung Fu, naturally it will flow out. Yeah, you can't hide, you see. So I've developed this 5M that covers men, which is myself, my tutors. We are professional, we are competent in coaching. The materials are my own material, which I design. I publish a book. And also machines include the apparatus that we use. I even use drones to teach like energy conversion concepts and also others specimens which I brought in from other countries to show the student, hey, look at this insect, it's quite unique. Yeah, they can feel it. And some students, they're quite amazed. Hey, Mr. Yu, is that a real bat? Yeah, because I got this specimen from Vietnam. It's actually a fruit bat,
Okay.
And usually they haven't seen a real bat before that's preserved. So this actually interests young minds.
Yeah. Are you doing an experiment in one of the photos?
Yeah. Actually, I'm doing this. This they call the we use the column of air to shoot down this pyramid of styrofoam. So there's conversion of energy in place, and
I
it's
see.
fun.
So interesting. So it must be so fun to be in your class. All right.
Yeah, so media we use, as you know, I think now you're on my YouTube channel. So I've uploaded some of the questions to discuss some interesting science observation.
Yes, they are great.
And definitely through mission, I have very focused in helping students to accomplish their mission.
Yes.
Yeah. So for most of them, I think who are in today's lesson, you hope that your child accomplish the mission of getting AL1 or AL2 for the coming PSLE Science exam. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is the 5M that I've developed. So maybe I just go through briefly.
Yes, maybe I just want to add, it's really very relevant because we are not just producing students that can do well in exams, but go beyond what they can contribute using their knowledge, as well as, having an interest in science is so important for them to propel forwards. Especially in secondary school, you need to learn chemistry, bio, physics. So the starting point is right now, PSLE.
Yeah. Okay, I want to bring out this specific example because I also fly drones.
Oh,
yeah. So actually from this drones flying, we can extract out these topics which are relevant to current primary school science syllabus. So for example, classification, right? You're going to ask a student, go and classify the different parts of the drones. Like some parts, they are made of certain material. And then this is also including material science. Yeah. Air composition as a study in P4, right? They can talk about, actually the amount of air or air density affect the flight dynamics of a drone. Yeah. And then for respiratory and circulatory system, because they work as a system, just like in this drone, right? They also have like a CPU to send the signal to the different propellers. Yeah. Yeah. And then electrical system as well. And energy conversion is very straightforward. P6 student, you all know, right? The battery store the chemical potential energy, converted to electrical energy, and then to the kinetic energy in the blade, to the sound energy in the blade. Yeah. Yes. So a lot of things involved, and also forces. Wow. So perhaps this may be one of the PSLE questions this year.
So you kill 7 birds with one stone just with a drone.
Yeah, very interesting because students, especially boys, even girls, they are interested by drones, you see.
Wow.
So when you bring in this topic, they won't find boring. Go Mr. U lesson can fly drone. Through the flying of drone, I learned all this concept. Isn't it fun?
Yes. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Yu.
Yeah. So another thing is this one I think nowadays thermal scanner. So I want to bring out this example because in our life sometimes we meet people that inspire us to rethink about education. So I want to bring out 2 examples here. Remember in SARS, right, 2003. So the use of this thermal scanner was actually designed by somebody whom I know. And this person actually, he's quite well balanced in the left and right side usage of his brain. And also today, we have the National Day Parade on a floating platform. And this was the first use in 2007. So this idea of using this platform is actually first time in the world to create such a big platform. So I'm very thankful that I know these 2 persons. The one on the left actually designed the SAR thermal scanner, and the one on the right is the floating platform. So both of them, they love art. That's why I told Miss Locke that actually as parents, we cannot always tell our child, hey, if you love science, just study science. If you love art, just study art. But because our brain is designed or wired in a way that we need a good balance between science and arts. So maybe that part, Jaslyn, you can share about your child. I believe your child also quite well balanced.
Correct.
Right?
My girl is actually in A level, she's doing art, but she is very good in bio and very good in chemistry. So she has been asking me, actually a lot of other people don't approve her learning art, but to me, I feel that is something that she really passionate about, and she promised that she will do well in, and I think is after that, when she comes out A levels, let's see what there's availability in the market or what she can do. So I advocate a lot of the passion the children has, and encourage them. Yeah, that's important. So yeah, I will also tell her that, this story about the floating platform, because a lot of things, science and art has to combine together. I mean, as you look around us, right?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you, Jaslyn. Okay, I think as parents, we need to be very aware of this Maslow hierarchy of needs to understand and motivate our children well. Because for me, I've taught many students, this is my 20 years of coaching. A lot of students, they lack this level, the psychological, because they are worried about some family, maybe some issues. So this ground level, the baseline level, need to be settled, because as tutors, as teachers outside, this is the part where we are very hard to manage. So as parents, you need to be supportive. You need to give your child a very safe and harmonious environment so that the child can pursue upward. Because without this solid foundation, the building cannot be built higher, because it's always shaky at the bottom. So this one, as parents, as educator, we need to be mindful of this. Yeah.
Yes, super agree.
Okay, so now I come back. I like to let parents know, because I think, especially for some parents who may be having their first child, taking this national exam. So today, actually, through this listening, I hope you can continue to stay on, because for the next 10 to 15 minutes, you'll be able to understand what the examiner actually look for in the PSLE Science Section B paper.
Okay, can I share that? What I saw disaster in my son's answers. Yes. Okay, number one is he will not be able to. He could not write answers that are scientific enough, so that's why he lost marks. Okay, and he cannot write answers that answer to the questions. That's what the two flaws that I found a lot of students have. So that's why I think your 2 points are very relevant, right? So yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaslyn. So number one, the student must be able to give precise scientific answers. Number two, they must demonstrate the application of concepts. Because in PSLE nowadays, concept application is a focus. The examiner do not want the student to regurgitate the facts, you see. So they must use the facts to the correct concept in that situation.
So this I also tell my students, right, because I'm a study coach, right? So I also tell my students, if you answer science, it's not comprehension. So that's science, the scientific techniques must come out of it. So I really want to also share this special technique for the parents here. Yeah.
So later you will see some examples that beside the scientific fact, if they use it in the wrong situation, they won't get their marks. So here the student must be able to apply the scientific facts, concepts and principles to the right situations. And sometimes these situations are quite new. So maybe they see it the first time. But actually exposure to different type of questions. Like for myself, I like to design questions. So if your child joins my coaching, right, the child actually will be exposed to different questions. The teacher never said before one. Later you can see one very good example.
Yeah, so I think one of the things that I also want to say is that when students see things that they think is unknown, right, they panic, they leave blank. Then they get 0 marks.
Yeah. So through more exposure, they actually be more confident to look through the questions and answer confidently. So this is a scheme work of the MOE and SCAB about primary science education. So you can go to the website. Due to time constraint, I won't go in details. Okay, most important is all these skills, they are tested for PSLE. Observation, comparing, classifying, using apparatus equipment. Communicating means you see the graph or chart, then to explain what is happening. Inferring means use the data to predict what will happen. Generating possibility, all this. Okay, as you can see, as you go down, this become more difficult.
Wow.
Okay, the top one is easier. As you go down the list, is more difficult.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so these are all the topics tested in PSLE Science. I have separated them according to their levels. On the left is the lower primary, P3, P4. On the right is P5, P6. But due to COVID-19 since last year, as you can see, these topics will not be tested. Living together, all this will not be tested. They have been removed from last year as well as this year PSLE. But I urge parents, ask your child to also learn. Yeah.
Yes.
Because this will not be retaught in secondary. Because some of these topics, they need the prerequisite for them to do well in secondary 1. Yeah.
Yes.
So these are important. And because these topics are being removed in the test content, that means more weightage will be set to other elements.
That's right.
Okay, so let's continue. So this is something new. Your child who are taking PSLE this year will be experiencing this AL. We call the new scoring benchmark
levels.
Yeah, which is very similar to the O level. Yeah. So you can see if you want to score AL1, which is equivalent to the A star in the past, you got to score 90 or above.
Yeah.
And there's a very short bandwidth for AL2. Yeah, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, only 5 mark bandwidth. Similarly for this. So my objective for your child coming for my 2-day intensive science in September, hopefully your child is in this level at AL3. I have to upgrade his or her marks to AL2 or AL1.
Yeah.
And also this can be found in the internet under MOE website. Okay, the reason of showing you this, because I know that some parents, you may want to ask your child to aim to qualify for Express, but the child may not be wired for Express stream. Yeah, I give you one good example. In the past, I got this child. He already tried his best, but he only scored 185 for his PSLE. So he's streamed into normal academic. Yeah, because that child actually needs some support, because that year when I coached him, his dad passed on. So I go the extra mile. I asked him come to my house to study because he stay nearby. So I given him some extra help. And I know this child really tried his best. And I also try to appeal to him to study in the school just below his block. So thankfully, the school accepted, because I think he almost matched the cutoff point. But because of this family issue, the school principal allowed him there. And that was very grateful that the school accepted him, because when he in NA, right, he topped the class. And I was quite surprised that a few years ago, this student actually texted me, he said, Mr. Yu, I given to go to the Singapore Poly to do what, to do aeronautical science.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, aeronautical science is the top course in Singapore Poly.
Not many people can apply.
Yeah, not many people can make it. Because for NA student, if they do well in at Sec 4, the Sec 5 actually they study in the Polytechnic. They call year 0. Yeah. So if your child maybe is a late developer, don't always force your child to go to Express. Because they are late developer, they may need more time to activate their brain cells, or maybe they are
mature. Yeah.
Yes, they mature later. Yeah. So that's why I want to bring up this to encourage parents, because every child is different. Yeah. Some of them they excel academically. Some actually they are between, they like hands-on plus academic, and some are more hands-on.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. For the PSLE Science, so this one is actually, you can do a screenshot or you can revisit this recorded section. Yeah, I won't spend too much time going through this. These are the definitions which the examiner wants the student to do. Because as I go through the example in this one, you will be able to understand what describe mean. So this is a very typical example for P5 and P6 student about a water cycle. The student is supposed to describe how water was obtained from the cup, from this seawater. Okay, so you can see this answer 1, answer 2 are not accepted. Answer 3 is accepted, but it's relatively long. So you can understand, describe means they are supposed to give relevant details. They are not required to explain, unless they change to explain. So describe is like you just write down what you see, observation. Just like you see like narrative composition, okay? Narrative composition. You need to give explanation.
Okay. The context is very important, right? At least
Yes,
you
correct.
know where, what to call it, the cup, the stone, the plastic sheet.
Yeah. So for this one, they need to use keywords here. These are the key: water evaporate and then water vapor. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's this process involved. The seawater gain heat and then becomes evaporated to form the water vapor. The water vapor lost heat to the cooler inner surface and condensed to form tiny water droplets. So these are quite standard because once you understand the concept, you can use this concept in different scenarios. Just like we wear spectacle, right?
Correct.
So sometimes when we leave the air-conditioned car, we go out, right? The condensation form. So you can use the same thing to explain. The warmer water vapor lost heat to the cooler surface of a glass and condensed to form tiny water droplets. So it's the same thing. Yeah.
Yes. The same story for most of the questions.
Yes, we call the same concept in different scenario.
Yes.
That's like even like I drink my cup of tea, right? Sometimes you drink, it's hot, right? This thing fork up.
Yes.
So you can say the hot water vapor from the tea loses heat to the cooler surface of the glass. Yeah. So it's a concept, but they use in different scenario.
Yeah. But importantly, the concept and the name of the process has to be shown, because a lot of students, they don't write the process, so you get 0 as well. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, here is a very good example. Use the right scientific fact. The scientific fact is correct, but in the wrong situation. Okay, can you see this student being marked wrong?
So air can be compressed.
Yeah, actually air can be compressed is a scientific fact, It's a scientific fact, it's true. But in this example, it's not air can be compressed, explain the observation.
Cannot
So
explain.
you can see here that they pump in only 50, right? But you have a remaining space of 100. Okay, because 300 capacity, but you minus 200, you have 100 cm cube.
Yep.
So 50 ml go inside. They don't need to compress because got more than enough space to spread out. So the proper answer should be air is a gas. It does not have a definite volume. It occupies the remaining space of the container. So here is a wrong application of a scientific fact.
Yes.
Yeah. So the child cannot memorize the answer.
Yes,
the child needs to know the concept, see the situation, and then apply it to the right situation.
That's the second level of learning already, not just regurgitating, right?
Yes. So the child will read the questions carefully because this same question, I show you how you get the second answer correct if you write air can be compressed by changing the number of plunges. Okay, later I'll show you why this question can use to test student logical reasoning. Okay, so you can see here, explain means, but here they say explain, right? So you have to give reason. Yes. Just now the previous one is describe, no reason needed.
Explain will be needing more things already, right?
Yeah, they must give the reason behind this. Okay, now I change the question slightly. Same apparatus. So instead of pump 1 time, now pump 4 times. Okay. So mathematically, 50 times 4 is 200, right?
Yes.
Correct? So parents, 50 times 4 is 200, but you only have 100 cm cube of space. Now you see, now air can be compressed is correct.
Yeah.
Because now you need to force in 200 cm cube of air into 100 cm cube of space. Yeah.
This is the right concept to use. Yeah. So, but Mr. Yu, can I ask you a question? Like, okay, is this something difficult for the child to develop? Like, I think a lot of parents say, oh, my son cannot apply, he got all the concepts, he knows everything, but it's something that, is it able to quickly develop,
Okay, as long as the child understand the concept, sometimes I use real life example. Like, most child, they can cycle, right? They can ride bicycle, right?
Yes.
So I told them about the bicycle wheel. So if you pump more in the bicycle wheel, you're going to feel the tire is actually harder. Right. It's actually forcing more air into the same space. The air become compressed. Yeah. So here you can see, I change the question slightly. I say state your reason. Just on the previous one is explain, right? Explain, you need to give reason. So state no need. State, you just say why is 100. Because 200 squeeze inside 100, air can be compressed. So there's a reason. That's why I changed slightly. State your reason.
I see. Got it. All right. So it's a skill that can be develop quickly.
Can be developed over a short period of time. Yeah. Okay, this one also, I use real life example. Ask them open the freezer at home.
Oh,
Okay, they like to feel the wind coming out right now.
Experience it and
Experiential science.
yeah, then they can understand better. This part of the long-term memory, how they can remember.
Yes. Yeah,
better.
they can actually visualize it every time they open the freezer to take ice cream right from there.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is also a key concept. Okay, parents who are out there, I like to share with you one important thing. Because in the past, PSLE marking, they allow students to use the word air, but over the last year, become more strict. Because you see, if you use air, because air they learn in primary 4 right, is a composition of nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other gases. They don't condense it. It's actually the water vapor with a higher temperature in the surrounding, lost heat to the air with a lower temperature in the freezer. So you take note of this. Now, if they write air, this one they will minus half mark because air cannot condense. Okay, it's a water vapor. Okay, water vapor lost heat to the temperature of the lower surrounding air and condense to form tiny water droplets. Okay, so these are the key scientific words. And then here they need to interpret this one. This is called communication skill.
So this is your strategy too, communication skills.
Yeah, communication means how they interpret graphs or tables and then write down the observation here. Okay? Yeah. So for example here, this student get it correct, 1 mark. Let's say if another student give the answer, the temperature of the surrounding air, he used affects the amount of starch present in the plant. Yeah, because affect didn't say is it increase or decrease. So no relationship given. So this one is 0 mark. Because
not specific enough.
Yeah, not specific enough. Yeah. So you've got to remind your child to be more specific. They must give the relationship. Is it a decrease or increased relationship? And then here also, this one is a wrong concept.
Escape.
Because we cannot lose the coldness. You can see here, the student wrote, the coldness will not escape that easily. So it's not coldness escape. It's actually what? Heat gain or heat loss, the right concept.
So this is like a child mixing up the concepts or not applying well, right?
Okay, this one generally there are 2 types of students. One, they totally the concept wrong. Okay, that means they thought is always like, as you see, I can see the coldness escape.
Yeah.
Okay, because we don't teach coldness escape, we teach the object either gain heat or lose heat. Because heat flows from region of higher temperature to lower temperature. This is what they learn, heat gain or heat loss.
Can I also say that the child didn't actually also read what they write? I mean, I think some of them have this problem. They write already, they never take a second look at it, and then they think it's correct. So this is one of the things I feel students should also be aware of.
Yeah,
see so what you're writing.
They must be very careful. Okay, the other thing I like to use is, as parents, you can also use some of the Section A questions to develop Section B answering technique. So for example, I see this is, I can see is an open-ended, this is a multiple choice.
Multiple choice, yes.
Yeah, but I can ask this one, in Section B, explain the observation, why. Okay, it can be developed into Section B. Explain your answer for part A. So as parents, as educators, we can ask them to give. So they must give this reason. The carbon dioxide in test tube A, right, is able to react with the lime water more quickly. Because you can see this part, right, is in contact with the lime water. Okay. Yeah. And then this one is also a very good P4 questions. Okay, parents out there, if your child in P3 and P4, P4 is a very critical year because P4, they actually do internal streaming, but some school, they don't tell the parents. Okay, internal streaming means they will stream the students with better marks, right, to the better P5 class. So P5 to P6, they will promote en bloc. So this is what helps out the parents because for science, right, out of the other 3 other subjects, science is the easiest to improve within a short period of time. Yeah. So there are some parents who ask me to coach their child in P4 after the SA1 because they want to have a higher chance to be promoted to better P5 classes. Yeah. So this is a P4 topic, which is a very good higher order thinking skill. We call HOT skill, higher order thinking. And this one actually appears very commonly in most school P4 exam paper because we know that air has mass and occupies space. Okay, and air can be compressed. So the highly compressed air, though having the same volume, because you notice here, right, the container P and Q, if you empty the water and pump air inside, right, they will have the same volume of air. But if you, as you can see here, if I pump more pump of air in, let's say, either container, right, the container will be heavier because the air is more compressed. Yeah. So this is one good question to test the understanding. So the more compressed air in P, right, for example here, because they say he pumped 300 cm cube of air into P and 100 cm cube into Q. So here being more compressed, it will be having a greater mass. So this P will sag down.
It's, like you say, it's a tough question, huh?
Actually, this question is not tough. It's the student may be careless in answering. But if they understand this concept about air can be compressed, air is a matter, then they can explain this part.
And choose the right concept to apply.
Yeah, correct. Yes. So the other thing is connecting textbook to knowledge. Okay, this is me about a few years ago. As you remember, Singapore suffered this haze, right? So I use some of this satellite image to teach my student about air pollution. So as parents, you can also do that, comparing the air pollution of these three countries, and then designing questions here. This happened actually is the actual real time because use a real life example is better. Yeah. So the child learning textbook knowledge, right, can relate to what is happening in real life. Right. So these are actual charts that I extracted from the NEA website in the year 2011. If you remember that time Singapore had this haze, right? Yeah.
Yes, correct. So I think it's something for the parents is that we see science everywhere, right? Yes. And other than we talk to them about schoolwork, do homework, we also can talk to them about what is happening around us, and we relate it to maths, science, English, or Chinese. That's what I have been advocating as well, because we spend so much time with our children, compared to tutors, compared to teachers. So we are the best educators for them. So yes. What you say is so true. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this one more real life to us. This one, right? ART, right?
Yes, correct.
So I designed this question to test students. Yeah, like they do the observation here, look at this chart here, state the test results. So it's a negative test result. Okay. And then also I say that what happens if some people their first test, right? First test were negative. Okay, first test were positive, then subsequently confirmed negative. So what are the
two reasons?
Yeah, what are the reasons? So that would be, they can give maybe the test kit not accurate, maybe the person performing did not follow the correct procedure. Yeah. These are the illicit possible reasoning scheme from them.
I see.
Yeah, so using real life example.
Wow. So I think Mr. Yu's lessons are really very interesting, and really encourage parents, to look at his courses as well.
Yeah. I also like to use news article to help them, like this one, putting out forest fire. Yeah, connecting current affairs with them, using science and English or mother tongue. Yeah. Because in the past, I published this book about character education. So as I say, like there are people who inspire me. So Mr. Kunalan here, he actually helped me wrote this part on the book. Yeah. So I'm quite thankful for people who have helped me to be successful, and I'm also looking forward to help your child to be successful in his or her life pursuit.
Yes. Right.
So this one testimony from this parent. Okay, because this child actually returned from overseas, so she has a learning gap. And the mom was very happy that after my one-day training, the child jump score from 55 to 83.
Wow, so awesome. Super. Congrats. Yeah.
So I was very happy also. So I rewarded the child with a drone.
Wow. So that's great. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this one is almost coming to my last slide.
Oh,
Okay,
yes.
actually, quite uniquely, I was sharing with
Mm.
all these 11 students came from the same school. They came from a one-day training to help them in the section B answering skill. They came after SA1. So actually all of them improved. And the girl that improved the most is this one. She improved by 51.8%.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
most of them actually improved more than you can see here from here onwards.
mm,
This one, right? 24%, 39%. More
yes,
than
yes.
half the class improved by more than 20%.
Wow. So it's wow. Please tell us when is your next course so we can get our children to sign up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just now earlier, I told parents I'm quite passionate. So for those students who can't join my course, right, you can actually purchase this. And today is SG50. I'm giving this.
Also have.
I still have, thank you.
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
autograph for you, right?
Yes, yeah, you did, you did. So yeah, what are the resources that I want to ask? Since we have children that are really want to get better scores, AL3 or they want to get AL2 or AL1, right? So
Yes.
what are the different ways that you can for different time constraints, or budgets, you can tell us how you can help them.
Yeah. So firstly, I promise the parent, if your child spend 12 hours in my book, right? But these 12 hours don't compress in one day. You go and spread out the 12 hours in 6 days. One day, 2 hours. They can master the technique in section B answering. So I got full solution inside this book. And then I have at least about 20 QR code inside. So when the parents or the child they scan the QR code, it will lead the child to my YouTube channel where I explain the question. So there's something quite unique. They can learn. For those who have budget constraint, you can consider this. This is very cheap.
Self-study, right?
Yeah. Self-study, yeah.
I study. I study.
Yeah, self-study, correct. Okay.
I'm a study coach. I have to teach people how to start self-study.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So those who want to seize today's National Day, right? Later I forward the number in my next slide. You can copy down. You can text me.
Must buy, yeah.
Yeah, this is $12 for today only. After that, it will be $14. So I give you $2 discount because I absorbing the mailing cost.
Yeah, okay. It's really.
Okay, so the parents, I advise you can jot down my number here. You can WhatsApp me.
Yeah.
After the interview. So my number is 8268-5299.
Yes.
So the course that I highly recommend for this year PSLE student, because actually in the past I don't conduct this course, but because parents they have the high demand. Hey, Mr. Yu, can you do something during the September 1 week break to give our child a booster Okay, so I say okay never mind. I try my best. So I have reserved 2 dates on the 7th, which is a Tuesday, and the 10th, the Friday. Okay, the reason I spread this out got 2 main reasons. I need them to have time to absorb the thing on day 1. And then my second reason, because other days I quite busy in my own coaching.
Can.
So actually Tuesday is my off day. Friday I have lesser coaching. So I spread out over these 2 days, 7 and 10. And this is the timing. So don't worry. This one is a full Zoom lesson, which I will show you more detail. My objective is to help you achieve this. Let's say your child currently is at AL3, has a high chance to upgrade to AL2 and AL1.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is the full training details. So day 1, I will review all the concepts, the key concepts needed for PSLE, which is inside the book. So those of you who are joining this course, you receive the book as part of the fees. That's why I need parents to register early so that I can mail over the book. Okay, I need about 5 working days because due to the SingPost mailing service, 5 working days is safer.
Yeah, and also you have limited seats, that's why, please go and sign up fast. Yeah.
Okay, let me also clarify. This course is a kind of a mass lecture. That's why I open up to maximum 130 pupils. So far, about quite a number of them have already signed up. So this is like they do not have much chance to ask questions. So you need to understand. I'm actually day 1. I'm going through the concept. Okay, some parents they like this. Do you know why?
Summarize for them, for the kids.
Oh, because I help them babysit.
Instead of sitting down with the book, right?
If I don't teach, right, the child may, because it's holiday, they may be busy gaming, they may be busy doing other things.
And not doing studying.
You never mind. You help me help my child revise. Yeah.
It's true, it's true.
Okay, because in the past, I do this course at a higher cost at a smaller group. But because of the high demand, I want to help more parents. I lower the cost by $100. I make it into the mass lecture so that more people can benefit.
Yep. Yes,
And then
yes.
this one, quite likely, the child who register, right? Those who child who register, they will also receive. I will record a small segment of this, to be send them to a private link. They can review the question I have discussed before the final exam. Because this year PSLE science paper is on the 5th October. My training actually ends on the 10th. So from the 10th September to 5th October, you still got 3 more weeks to revise.
Correct. Yes.
So seize this opportunity.
Great, great. Yeah.
So that's all
yes,
for my sharing.
correct. So yeah, go and sign up for his course. It's limited, you know, really many people are really signing up. So can I share my live, you know, my webinar? Yeah. So yes. Okay. So just now we talked about here. Yeah. So my webinar is about 3M system to ace exams, and this is a webinar for, you know, for optimizing your tuition as well as school learning. Okay. And importantly, take down this link. Okay, a snapshot, and you can go to the link to sign for it. Okay, sign up for it. And the next webinar is on the 21st of August, Saturday, 8:30, right? And today, because importantly, right, I feel that it's important to keep the students in check. That means if they are keeping them motivated with the right mindset, it's so important. And I actually have a masterclass, you know, and for P3 to P6, okay, actually I have a class every Tuesday for P6 already. So if your students are, you know, your children is P6, right, we want them to keep them properly motivated. Okay, so I've set up a class for them every Tuesday. But for this session, you know, I'm going to open up for 3 students, okay, in P3 to P6, you know, and to actually cultivate the right mindset, motivation, and methods. Okay, the first trial is free, so that's why I want to let everybody to go in, and then the first 3 will be getting this slot. Okay, so go to this link and sign up for the masterclass, right? And you're on the way to getting the ace, right? That's all. Thank you so much, Mr. Yu. Thank you. Yeah. So are we going to have another session to share more tips from you, which is
Yeah, you can organize.
yeah,
I think there's one more session, right?
yeah. So we have it on the 15th of August. Yeah. So we'll have and then you also can invite more of your friends. Yeah. So to join us. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Yu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Yeah.
Bye.
So you